All right, everybody. I think we're about ready to get on to our next presenter. Once again, as soon as I finished talking, I realized I forgot one other thing I meant to mention. But Heartland does have one Breakout EDU kit that your tech consultants can work with you to help bring it out to you and work with you on that. We're kind of still in the process of putting together how all of that the checkout and everything will work. But if you contact your tech consultant, if you'd like to use our one kit, we can work together with you on some of that. Otherwise, we'll move on to our next presenter. We have Aaron Bane from Fort Dodge. So we'll hear some of the ways that he has to use technology.
All right, so thanks everyone for coming here. I'm going to give you a disclaimer that I gave before my last PD because I'm going to actually try to present the same amount of stuff in about an hour and a half less, so I don't know why I chose to do that, but I am. I'll give you a disclaimer. I'm going to go through things pretty quickly first, so if things don't make sense, I just want you to watch the process. I'm also doing this live with your results, so if there are things that don't go quite as planned, bear with, because I want you guys to see exactly how you can use this in your classroom, and things don't always go to plan. I haven't encountered an error yet, but who knows, today might be the day. So a little bit about me. I am from the Fort Dodge district. I live in Ankeny, so I actually got to sleep in today. Yes. If you want to contact me on Twitter, go ahead and do that. My email is on the session agenda as well, and then my website is linked there. Don't try to write all that down. It's on the session agenda. Right now, this year, I'm working as our district's technology integration coach. I'm a part of the TLC grant for Fort Dodge. It's my first year in this position. Before that, Go State, nice win last night. I worked at a residential facility for about a year, and I've also worked some online education, 6-12 social studies. You name social studies, 6th through 12th grade, I've taught it. And 6th through 8th grade, I was our at-risk teacher at Fort Dodge last year in that area. My passion right now is really preparing students for the world that does not exist. And if you're curious about that and you want to have your mind just blown, if you're not familiar with the Daiquiri Smart Helmet, I couldn't believe it. It just came out. I saw a video and I saw one live up at TIC in Minnesota in December. It's the Iron Man helmet. At its core, it's kind of like the Iron Man helmet. So it uses like a QR code on steroids, which is what harassment is. So if I took a picture of anyone in here, you become a digital footprint. When I scan you with the harassment app, it overlays digital information. So if you look at that smart helmet, it's just incredible. It walks you through processes and everything. I encourage you to go look at it. I could not believe that this thing exists now. So my focus is how do we prepare students for the world that's beyond this helmet. And then current focus is streamlining the workflow process for teachers, because I know this is an incredibly busy time of year. And the last thing that teachers want, because I've been there, is to have more stuff added to their plate. So also thinking about that, I'd like to take a look at the top 10 skills. This is the article that I go back to time and time again when thinking about what do kids need to be prepared for after school. So this came out actually in 2014. It's linked to the session agenda as well. Those are the top 10 things that businesses, Fortune 500 companies, say they want our students to be able to do. 3 of those top 10 have to do with the ability to communicate. And most of that is either one-on-one, selling things, or then creating and editing written reports, which is fantastic for social studies. So for this session, first thing I'm going to focus on is the assessment feedback workflow cycle. So if I think about, it gives me a headache to think about all these steps, but this is the way that it has been done for years and years. You create an assessment, you send the files down to central office for printing, which at Fort Dodge can take a while sometimes, and I'm sure no other school district takes a while for things to get back from central office printing. You hand it out to students who all take it on the same day at the same time. Students return the work to the teacher who takes that home to grade 100 plus papers after school in their spare time. Whenever grading is completed, it's returned to the student. Student promptly throws it away because that happens, or get lost in their locker. At some point, grades are entered into the grade book whenever we have time that we're able to squeeze out of our day. Parents come in for conferences, wondering why they never heard about the test that the student threw away when they got it back. and everyone moves on because no second chances. At least I hope that's changing. Or it's too far behind because that was 8 weeks ago, and it was the first one of the unit. I mean, that process just like gives me a little bit of a headache to think about all the steps that go into that, but that's just the way that things have been done, but that doesn't need to be the way that they're done anymore. So I want to do this live for you guys. So if everyone on smartphone, computer, anything that you have with you, head over to Socrative.com. If you don't know what Socrative is, it's a fantastic assessment tool. When you're there, click on Student Login, and then the room code is Mr. Bane, and that's a 1 after it. I have 2 rooms. We're going to use Mr. Bane 1. And then enter your email address, not your name. And the email address is extremely important. This will be an email address that you're going to receive your results from me. Then go ahead and take that assessment. Oh, I don't care what your scores are, by the way. There's some math in there. It's okay if you don't know it. I use this assessment at my last PD to show that every subject and content area can use Socrative. And on my phone here, I'm checking to see, I'm seeing the results come in live for everybody. So as you think like your students, this is exactly what they would be seeing if they were using Socrative. And if people want, I can go back and walk through kind of Socrative after I'm done with the main presentation. It's fantastic. The thing that I like probably most about it right now is that you can share any assessment that you create in Socrative with other teachers. So in Fort Dodge, we're doing a lot of work with creating common assessments, especially common formative assessments. Well, so instead of me having to create one and then run printing and go back and forth between a bunch of teachers, I just share the assessment code with other teachers and they get the exact same assessment. And it looks the exact same for every student, and the results that you get are the exact same format. So it's easy to break down and analyze that for all of your students. All right, so live results. Hey, got some good answers there. So as a teacher, you're seeing everybody's results come in there, and you instantly know what students are struggling with a particular concept. You instantly can change what you're doing in the classroom based on what students are showing you they do and don't know. Okay, so I'm going to finish this. If you haven't finished taking it, that's okay. Now, the important thing and the thing that I love most, well, not most, I really enjoy Socrative, is I'm going to get reports for this. And I can download this to my Google Drive, which is going to be important because, one, I'm never going to lose that. I've not saved anything to my desktop or network drive in, I don't know, over a year and a half now, and I've never lost a thing with Google Drive. Like, nothing's ever gone missing. I think it shorted out once, and that was for like 20 minutes. So I don't lose it, and I don't have to take papers home. And it's graded for me right now. So I'm just going to click Google Drive. That adds a report to my drive. So if you're thinking separately, like, hey, we've got to bring this to the group to analyze later, you can just share that document with the other teachers, and they have all of your results. You have all their results. Transparency is complete. In your drive, I have this. I get to see everyone's answers. It color codes it with exactly which ones are right, exactly which ones are wrong. Again, it makes breaking things down a lot easier. All right, so here's where I'm going to do things live. I'm going to go through, and anything that doesn't have an email address, I'm going to delete, because the tool that I'm going to show you doesn't work without it. All right, I got to copy this. So this is a tool that I've created. It's called Mail Merge with Headings. It's available on the website. I'm trying to get it added to the Google Add-on store. Google and I had a slight disagreement last week about what exactly good code was. So I had to I'm writing a couple of add-ons to make your lives easier. So this spreadsheet is available on the website. It's a downloadable file. Just make a copy of it. You can use it. The only important thing you need to know is that when I copied it, the first row contains those headings right there. Student name, total score, correct number of ways. Oh, there's one. I think the rest of them are probably okay. Oh, it looks like they copied all of them. I thought I deleted that. Right, and again, I do this live so that you guys can see exactly what the process looks like. I'm going to head over to here, and it'll make more sense once you see what it works. Okay, so the add-on that I wrote, there are tons of mail merge applications out there. There are tons more that are probably better than mine, but there's not one that I found that's been able to do exactly what I wrote mine to do. So the email column, you just go back here, you grab, in this case, it's student names, column A. Subject is, that's going to be, you're all going to get an email from me with your scores instantly. The name column, I'm just going to say is name, hello. Column G. So normally, if you want, you can personalize it by student name. If you have the student names there, you can do that. I'm just going to say hello for that to make it easier. The canned message is, here are your assessment scores, the body range. Here's where the mail merge thing that I wrote is a little bit different from other people's. So the body range is this stuff right here. It's what you want to send to the students in the body of the email. So I want you guys to know your total score, the number of correct answers, and I want you to know how you did on each of these. So you have a copy of that. So B:, F. That's all I have to do. And wait, there we go. All right, so you can see emails are starting to populate over here. This is going to be the body of the email, canned message that goes before it. The names are going to start spitting up here in a second. It just grabs those from that spreadsheet. All right, here they go. The emails are coming through on there. So I can preview it. And once that's done, I click Run Merge. Go ahead and start checking your emails. Those of you who took it. Oh, invalid email address. I was so glad that happened. So that's not a valid email address. So I just delete the row. I'm going to keep going. Everybody now should, in your email, if you gave me a valid email address, have your assessment results. If you're a student, it's in your email. You could also do parent emails. It's right there. There's no mystery about what your score was or what you did. It's there forever. If let's see here, this person comes to me and says, oh, I didn't actually get my results or I lost them, I'm just going to do that, hit Run Merge. It's going to go through. Sorry, one person, whoever you are, is going to get 2 emails from me. Sends it again. So you keep that result. The reason I made this was I had a teacher come to me who had graded her rubric using Google Forms. And she had 150 different rubric scores for her students, and she wanted them all to have that. But since it was in a Google form that went to a Google spreadsheet, that's not exactly convenient to get back to students. So she asked me, is it possible for this to be given to my students through email? I was like, maybe. But the thing with rubrics is you want to have those headings at the top of it. You want the student to know what rubric category is that in. Is it for did you have too wordy of sentences? Is it because did you get this score because you really rocked having all 5 of the required historical concepts in there? Whatever it is. So I wrote this particular mail merge because, one, it's free and a lot of the good ones are paid, so it is free. And I also wrote it so that students can get it. And you can use this as many times as you want. All you have to do is just clear out that and pair it with Socrative or really anything that exports to a Google Drive. You can send anybody any email that you want from a bunch of different columns. All right. So total time to grade, well, you saw it right here. I mean, that took me 7 minutes to do that, and I don't have to take anything home. The students know their results instantly. If you put the parent email addresses in there, the parents know the results instantly. You could stick your team email address in there. They would know all the results instantly. There's total transparency there, and the permanent copy forever exists on Socrative.com, Google.com, and within that spreadsheet. So 3 different places. So it'd be really hard to lose those assessment results. And again, transparency, 100%. There's no question about anything. Okay. Let me show you where those are on my website. All right, I'm still in the process of building this as the year goes on, but it's called Mail Merge with Heading. You'll notice another one there called Track Any Doc. That one I wrote because, well, so what Track Any Doc does is if you have a Google Sheet or a Google Doc, sometimes it's nice to know if the thing's been edited. But there's no way unless you go check inside Google, inside the document right now to see if it's been edited. So like I have PLC agendas. It's kind of nice to know when those are updated, or this TLC or TIC document. It's kind of nice to know when that's been updated. So I wrote Track Any Doc. It will send you an email to when it's been edited. So if you go in and edit a document on Wednesday at 8:30 between 9 and 10, I get an email that the document was edited with a link to it. So my Google Drive, instead of having to go search for the document, if it's been edited, if someone edits it, it just sends me an email with the link to it, which is kind of handy because my Google Drive is, I don't know about your guys', but my Google Drive is just full of documents. Some of them are edited, some of them are not. But you can just click on it and you'll get the file. There's issue report, so if there's an issue that you have with it, let me know, and then I can fix it and I can contact you with that. All right, so add-ons. I said I wrote 2 of them. If you're not familiar with Google Add-ons, they're fantastic. Basically, an add-on is anything that a teacher or a person has identified that, boy, it'd be nice if Google did this, but it doesn't. So they went and wrote an add-on to make Google do that thing. And you can't make Google just do anything. It has to be able to do it anyway. Like Google can send emails with a spreadsheet. Google can do anything that my add-on did without the add-on, but mine just brings all those processes together. So it's really nice to search for add-ons. If you're wondering, does Google do this? Go check the add-ons. So one of them is called Draftback. This is the agenda for my PD session. To get an add-on, just hit the add-on menu and get add-ons. There are no add-ons for Sheets. I don't quite know why, there just aren't. But Google Docs and Google Sheets, Google Slides doesn't have add-ons, sorry. Google Sheets and Google Docs both have add-ons. You can just go and browse tons of them. One of them is called Draftback. It adds this little button up here. And it's best if I just hit it and watch. So what you're seeing right now is me writing the agenda for my last PD session live. And you can do this for any document that you have in your Google Drive and also have rights to. So you can go and see exactly what is, if you're thinking, well, how does this go to my students? If your students are writing a paper and you're wanting to see that student's writing process, well, you don't have to sit in front of them and watch it. You can go back. And the student doesn't have to add this, just you do. So you can go back and watch your student's writing process from the beginning of time. You can slow it down, you can speed it up, and right here, document stats and summary. This is probably even better than watching it live. So what you're seeing on this sheet right here are all the revisions that were made and where in the document they were made. So this would be the top of the document, this would be the bottom. You can see that I wrote right here, top to bottom. Then I went back and changed a bunch of stuff from top to bottom. My mirroring 360, there we go. Then I took a huge break of a couple of days when writing my PD. Came back and I did some edits right there. So, well, how long has my student been working on a document? What did they do? When they did it? You can go back and check that. You can see my timeline of activity right there. I did a lot of work on a Saturday. Didn't really do anything Sunday, Monday. Came back Tuesday. And then right before my PD, I went and did a few last-minute edits. It also shows you this stuff. How long was I working on the document? It shows you who was working on the document. If I go to this one right here, this is our TIC agenda. So I'm watching it. I didn't write that. That was written by Jeff. And I get to see everything that was done to that. I'll just speed it up. And you get to watch it from the beginning of time. You can see that it was created, looks like on a Sunday-ish. You can see all the edits that anyone ever did to that document.
I'm searching and it's not popping up as
Draftback. It's like the movie. It's in the Google Add-on store. Okay, another one is easy bibliography. I'm going to be completely honest. If you asked me to sit down and write a bibliography in APA format, I probably wouldn't. I'm just going to be honest. I graduated from Iowa State University. I have a degree. If you ask me to sit down and write an APA bibliography, I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to go online and I'm going to get something to do it. I'll go back and check it later. Our students are going to do the same thing. I know what goes into a bibliography. I know exactly how that looks and what it should be, and I could probably do it if I was forced to, but why waste the time? Our students are the same way. They need to know how something works. They need to know what goes into it, but if they need to memorize exactly how it works when it changes every couple of years, I wouldn't suggest that's an important skill to memorize completely. So easy bibliography will do that for you. If they don't understand why we do bibliographies, what goes into it, why it's important to do sources, of course they need to understand that. That's an add-on. Research is not an add-on. That's a part of Google. It's under Tools. I'm going to search for, since we're all social studies teachers, Battle of Hastings. On the side here, I don't have to leave my Google Doc. I get to see all of Google searching through that right there. Handy also, if I like this, I can cite it. And then at the bottom of my document goes in a citation for it. And that might not be what you want your students to do for citations, but it does put in a link for them so they can go back to it and do it a different way later. It's all right there. You can open it up. It'll open a different tab. Fantastic little tool, just easy to do research from the document. You don't have to leave it. You don't have to leave your spot. That one's just in Tools Research. This last one here, so I like grading papers and revising them for students. I really love doing that, but it gets time consuming, especially when you have 120 students. It just does, and it just takes time to do all that. And it's important to do, but there's an add-on called SAS Writingvisor. This is going to go through a document, and let's just check for wordiness. When I hit that, hey, I don't have any clearly unnecessary words. Fantastic. It will highlight the things that are unnecessary. So passive voice, I'm really good at that. Did I use any passive voice? I did. So when I hit passive voice, it highlighted that. So if I'm a student and I'm trying to write my paper and I want to know, like, well, how am I exactly doing on this? If you're a teacher, like, just say to your students, we need to go through this document using this add-on first. It's free for students and teachers. Only thing that's required for it is that you create an account outside of it. If I don't know what passive voice means, I click on that and it says, passive voice often signals weak sentences. It explains to the student exactly what that thing is, so if they don't remember, well, what a passive sentence is, just click on that, it will tell you. It'll help make their writing stronger. They could do this before handing in a rough draft to you. This will take that time that you have to go through and grade documents or grade anything from students that have a lot of errors. That'll cut that time down because you can focus on the actual content of it, not the fact that it's kind of hard to read and the sentences are run on and 4 paragraphs long without a period or a capital I. Okay. Oh, Evernote. So Evernote is another tool that I've used in the past. It is it's the best way to describe it. It's kind of like a digital note-taking service. It's on tablets, phones, computers, everything. It's got apps for desktop. It's got apps for iPads, Android tablets. It helps you keep things organized. Now, what I've used for schools is I had students create different notebooks that can be shared within Evernote. So I can create a notebook for a unit titled The Neolithic Age, which I did last year. Under the students' accounts, they share that notebook with me. What they do is they upload different notes. You can upload pictures, you can upload documents, you can upload videos, you can upload tons of different things to Evernote. And then you can tag it. So think standards. You can have the students tagging their work with their standards to show that they've mastered it. And then what I had students do was I had them show their Evernote portfolio at conferences. So again, I didn't have to keep a huge filing cabinet full of papers. I mean, I did until I found Evernote, and then I got rid of that huge filing cabinet full of papers because that was inconvenient for me. No missing student work. It's free. There is a paid version of Evernote, but the base version is free for both you and students. So this one right here, I just wanted to know if I could upload a video. I did. It comes as an attachment. Here's some example of student work. That's from an iPad. They took a screenshot, uploaded it. That's just a general picture that they took. And then this was a cave painting again. So they took a picture using the iPad, uploaded it. You could use your phone. You could use tons of different things. And I could tag it with a standard. I don't know if that's the right one or not. SS 638.4. When I search in my documents, I can search by that tag. Everything that with that tag will come up right there. So if you're wondering, did Johnny master this standard? Has he shown me that he has mastered this standard? Just type in SS 6 through 8.4 or the title of that. If they all have common titles, you know instantly, did your students get it? Did they not? They're proving to you that they know it. You're not having to prove to them that they did learn it, okay? Because they will have this and they can access it any time at home. Fantastic tool. Just to increase transparency in the classroom. Okay. Shorter link to my website is right there. I've got my add-ons in there. Does anyone have any questions right now? If not, I can show you another fantastic tool. Questions about how I did something or what's needed for it? All right. More add-ons. Fantastic one here is Mindmeister. You can take a Google Doc, create a mind map out of it, really quick, really simple, really easy. If you're wondering, well, math teachers are being like, I can't use Google Doc, and you're hearing them say that, everyone can use Google Docs because you can insert formulas into it. So take this back and show your math teachers. I can't emphasize how much Google Docs and these add-ons add to it. The base version it's great. It does a lot of things. Sure, you can share, sure, you can collaborate with your students, but it doesn't really bring anything to a new layer. Adding these add-ons will do that. So what I highlighted at my PD session for teachers was that they should also use Remind. Is anyone familiar with Remind here? Formerly called Remind 101? Yeah, fantastic. Pair, where did it go? This tool with Remind. So you send your students the assessment results, head over to Remind really quick, blast out an email to the parents or a text message, whatever they choose to sign up with. Your kid got a new grade, check it when they go home. Parent asks the kid, what'd you do in school? Nothing. Really? You got a text message from your teacher that says otherwise. Like, that communication is instant right there. I did that for a club that I had, that I'm doing right now, and within 7 minutes of sending out the Remind, I had half my parents signed up. So they get these notifications instantly, and it didn't take any effort on my part. It's really simple to set up there. Okay. Since I have more time, I will show you Track Any Doc. If you download this file from my website, it's going to say copy of that, so you can just make a copy for your own drive. You go to Add-ons. You can set it up again if you want. I'm not going to because I don't want to lose my documents. But what it does is it tracks document by ID right there. All the document IDs are there. If you don't want to track a document anymore, you just delete it. It'll go away. But when I add files or folders, you can add by folder as well. So if you don't want to click on every single document within a folder, like if you have 100 different documents you want to track in a folder or 5, you can add it by folder. So if I click on this, or let's do this one. I'm going to just select the folder itself. I can go into it and select individual ones. Select. You can see all these IDs started to populate, and you're going to start seeing different names come up. So you got the document name right there, and this is going to track any edits that are made to it. If you're curious about whether I'm storing your information, I'm not, but you can go into the tools and script editor right there. So, and you can see my horribly written code. I am a social studies teacher by training, not a computer science person, so you can see it, but probably not the greatest one. Right. Really simple to do right there, track documents. It does work. I've been testing it with my fellow coaches. They all say it works great, which is nice. So last thing that I want to really highlight to y'all on my website, let me back up. So when I took over this job, the one thing that I would say I had teachers coming to me the most saying was, well, I know I should use technology. I know there's all these great things out there, but I don't have the time to either find them, or when I do have the time, I go and type in tools for social studies. And what comes up when you do that, if you Google that, or tech tools for the classroom, is you'll get a bunch of web links, and the top 4 are probably going to say something along the lines of 100 of the best apps for tools and teachers in schools. And then you get a list of 100 different apps, some of which may work on your devices, some of which may not. And it takes time to go through and sort all those. You don't know which ones are good, which ones are not good. It adds to your time. So I wanted to address that concern, which is real and valid. So I created this tool finder. And on the website, there's a submission form so you can submit other tools. But what it does, there's 81 tools in here right now, is it allows you to filter different tools that teachers have used or have been proven work in the classroom by different things. So primary area of use. If I want my students to be able to collaborate, if that's my objective, I hit collaboration. There's a bunch of tools right there that have been used to collaborate in the classroom. That list is much easier with a link to it to go through and sort by. You can sort by grade level, lots of other things. You can sort by cost to download, because sometimes we all don't have $50 to spend on the latest and greatest portfolio app, so you can sort by paid and unpaid versions. Let's see here. If I'm a 6th through 12th grade teacher and I'm not going to go with something that's designed for kindergartners, well, I search by 6 through 12, there's a bunch of things right there. I'm trying to get this more well known, because the more apps that are in there, the better it will be. You can sort by compatible devices. Web-based only. If I don't have iPads, having a list of the 100 best iPad resources isn't going to help me, because I don't have them. So I want web-based only. That would be like a Chromebook, primary area of use. Let's go with discussion. Today's Meet is on there, which is a tool that we're going to have previewed a little bit later here. You can see it's unpaid with a link to it. I wanted to create a way for teachers to go and search for things very easily to find the best tool that's going to fit the purpose, because it's pointless to have a list of the 100 greatest tools and then try to cram them into something that it doesn't fit in, because it's not going to work. You want to start with your objectives, you want to start with what you're doing in the classroom, and then find the tool that best suits that purpose. If you say, I want to use Today's Meet, but you're not having your students really discuss in class, then you're not going to find success with that. There is a submission form. It's just a Google form. So if you have a tool that you like, or you have used, or you bring this back to your district and everyone has tools that they like and use, it takes, 30 seconds to fill out, not that long at all. It goes in for review. In case it's doubled up, I don't want to have 5 different versions of Evernote on the website, because then it would become cluttered and pointless. But it goes in for review, then it's posted on there by me, just to make it super simple. A couple of nice videos on there. You should check out Eric Scheninger's one if you have a chance. That one's fantastic. Questions? Add-ons? Anyone not very familiar with Socrative? I promised I would come back to that one if you're not. Oh, nice thing with Socrative, it has space race. What I did was I gave students a review quiz. Students certainly love to do review quizzes. They don't. But they do like playing games. They do like playing Jeopardy. They do like doing all that stuff. They don't like taking quizzes to see if they know things, but they like playing games. So Space Race, I could start one again. You could just take the quiz that you created, or the assessment that you created, and you put it into Space Race. And let's see here. I'm going to just do this one. I do have to select the number of teams. We'll do 2 teams. We have everyone go into my room. Again, Socrative.com, and then you can do Mr. Bane 1, so you can see what happens when you do Space Race. It's the same quiz, so it's the same exact one. But I had students, when I was doing this, they got done, and they said, can we do it again? I'm like, Sure, you can review again. That's fine with me. The more practice you get, the better. But they wanted to because they got to see their rocket ship travel across the screen. That little interactive component for them, that gamification aspect of it, just totally made them lose their mind over it.
Can I take a quiz I've already made, like in Google Docs, and bring it in and just drop it in here, or do I need to upload question to question?
So you can upload by spreadsheet. I haven't done that personally, but like if you have one in like a Google Sheet, you can. That is an aspect of Socrative. I haven't personally done it. I've always created them. Also in Socrative, go ahead.
I think there's a template
Yeah,
you can download.
yeah. There's a
And then you
template.
fill out the template.
Yep.
We did a final, or an English final using the template. It took no time at all. to
Yep.
do the question. It was much faster than like using Flubaroo because the spreadsheet's much faster. Just type it in.
So you just type it into the spreadsheet.
The template's on Socrative, so you download the template, type it in, and then
Mm-hmm.
upload it. So it went really fast.
Yep. Also, you can add pictures in there. So for the history people in us, if we have a primary source document, you can add a picture. You can add anything. I had elementary teachers. One were like, "Well, this is great, but my kids can't read." So, but you can add pictures in there as well, and do things like that. So, oh, looks like it disconnected there. So they absolutely loved that, and I couldn't believe that. Can we do it again? We did it 3 times. And I'll tell you that everyone got an A on that particular quiz because they did it 3 times. And it was the same exact thing as me giving them a quiz, but they just wanted to do it more because they got to see a bar travel across the screen. All right. Surface tablet. If your district doesn't have Surface tablets, try to get some. They're fantastic. All right. So thank you, everybody. If you have questions, go ahead and get to my Twitter because I'll be able to get back to you through that really easily. Email works as well. Twitter's probably a little bit quicker for me. So.
All right. Do we have any other questions for Aaron? All right. Thank you, Aaron.